Hey guys, what's up? It's Michaela, and for today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to get this green and gold kind of smoky eye. If you want to see how to get this look, just go ahead and keep on watching. To get started, I'm taking my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer to go ahead and prime my eyelids. I usually always use concealer. I just find it's easy, it's on hand, and I don't have a eye primer if I'm being honest. And I just applied that with a flat shader brush, and now I'm going to go ahead and set that with a translucent powder. This is just going to help ensure that our shadows blend out really nicely on top of the concealer. And you can use any translucent powder that you want, it really doesn't matter. My Makeup Geek Peach Smoothie eyeshadow and my Morphe MB23 kind of fluffy crease brush, and we're going to be applying this as our transition shade, just mostly focusing it on the outer corner and just kind of blowing it out through the crease. I love this color. It is so pretty. It works for so many looks, if you couldn't tell since I've hit pan. The intensity doesn't need to be too crazy here since it is just the transition. Next, I'm taking my Mario palette from Anastasia, and I'm taking the shade Isabelle and a Wet n Wild crease brush, and I'm going to start applying this mostly to the outer corner is where I want the most intensity, and then just slightly dragging it in to the crease. Since this is a half cut crease type of look, I want to keep all the shadows mostly in the crease and kind of blown out above the crease. Try to avoid getting the shadows on the lid since we will be going in later and kind of covering that up with concealer, so it's not a huge deal if you do get a little messy and get it on the lid, but the goal is to kind of keep it sharp in the crease. And I'm going back in with that Morphe brush from earlier and just kind of blending those edges out with a little bit of peach smoothie to keep everything nice and blown out. Blending is key, everyone, trust me. Next, I'm taking Violetta, hopefully I said that right, in the palette, and I'm using this flat kind of shader brush. This is actually from one of the Naked palettes, but I really enjoy it for packing on shadow, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to be packing this darker color mostly on the outer corner, and then again, slightly dragging it into the crease. I'm being very careful with this step, just so I don't get it too much on my inner kind of lid area, because I just want that crease to look really sharp. And I'm just going to be going little by little and then blending it out and then adding more color as I feel like I need it. And then I'm going in with this little no-name kind of blending brush, but this is perfect because it's very tight and defined, so it really helps me kind of blend out that crease without getting too overboard and taking it all onto the lid. And I'm using a little bit of that Isabelle shade on this brush actually to help blend those edges out so they all kind of mesh well together. The key with using dark colors is to just keep on blending, and I always say start off with a light hand of the color and then add more as you need it so you don't mess up your whole look if you go in too crazy right away. And I'm adding more color again, darkening it up because I want it to be very smoky on the outer corner, and then we're back to blending again. Now I'm taking the star of the show. This is Bronx. It's this really pretty sparkly green, and I'm going to start packing that right on that outer corner again, kind of right over where we put the dark color. I'm just using the brush that came with the palette and the very little side, like the little packer side. The goal is to keep this shadow in the crease and mostly on just like the outer part of the eye. As you can see, I kind of got it on that lid on the inner corner, but it's okay, we'll fix it later. I also sprayed a little bit of Fix Plus on my brush to help pack this on so it had more intensity. And now I'm going in with that little kind of crease brush from earlier, and I'm more of that dark Violetta color and kind of blending out those edges / darkening it so it looked more smoky. Like I said earlier, the goal is to just blend. Keep blending, have lots of patience. There are times where it's going to look really crappy, but if you keep blending, it'll get better. Then I'm going in with this NYX kind of crease brush. I love this brush. It's really awesome. It comes to a nice kind of tapered end, and it's very fluffy. There is no product on this brush, by the way. I'm just kind of using this to help blend those edges out because I thought it was looking a little harsh there. And I'm also going back in with that Wet n Wild brush with a little bit of Isabelle on it to kind of blend at those edges some more, because I really wanted it to just blend well and be smoky and awesome. Now I'm going in with Peach Smoothie on that original Morphe brush and just further blending out all of the edges. And you can see the more you blend, the more just diffused everything looks, and it looks less harsh, which is bomb. Now we're going to go ahead and cut this crease. Now this is the easiest trick I've found for creating a cut crease or a half cut crease, and it's going in with concealer. So I'm just using my I always want to say Shart instead of Tarte. Oh my god. Okay, Tarte Shape Tape on this kind of just flat, just this flat shader brush, and I am very patiently and carefully trying to cut my crease, and I'm just kind of going a little bit below my natural crease line because you want to see that kind of dark defined line in the crease, but we're going to fill in the lid about halfway, and then I kind of use my finger to blend it out the rest of the way. If you're doing a full cut kind of crease, you would cover your whole lid, but since we're only doing half, just the inner part. And now I'm going in with Marina from the palette. It's this really pretty kind of rose gold color, and I'm just going to start packing that on the lid. And it sticks really well nicely to the concealer, so this makes it a lot easier. I'm using a very defined brush again just to make sure that that cut crease kind of looks very sharp, because that's the whole point. I just want it to look very sharp and defined. I also sprayed my brush with a little bit of MAC Fix Plus to help intensify it. Now I'm going back in with that Bronx color again because I felt like I lost some of that green on the outer corner, and I'm also kind of dragging that in the middle so they meet kind of nicely and it's not like such a harsh transition from the gold to the green. And going back in and just packing more of that color on. Now I went ahead and applied the rest of my makeup off camera and my eyeliner, and I used the Kat Von D Trooper eyeliner, and now I'm applying my Tartiest mascara to my top lashes. I love this mascara. It is bomb. It's my current favorite. And I always make a mess when I use mascara. I swear, like, I cannot get it on my face. Now I'm going back in with the Mario palette to do my under eyes. I applied my lashes off camera as well because it's a struggle. I used the Kiss faux mink lashes in Little Black Dress. And I'm basically just taking the same colors I used on the lid and applying them to the lower lash line. So I started with Isabelle, and then I went in with Violetta, and then I went in with Bronx, just kind of smudging those out. I wanted it to be super smoky down there, very sultry kind of looking. Mostly focusing the colors on the outer corner, not dragging them too much to the inner corner because we're going to put a lighter color there later. And I can't help but laugh when I watch this because I make the ugliest faces when I'm applying anything to my lower lash line. It's terrible. I'm using that NYX brush from earlier to kind of just help blend that out and soften it. I swear, this brush is amazing. Like, I want to get 50 more, but every time I go to Ulta, they're sold out, and I get sad. Now I'm taking this CoverGirl, I think it's the Super Sizer mascara, to do my lower lashes. This wand is so tiny, and it's perfect for lower lashes. Like, it just separates them and it makes them look bomb. And again with the ugly faces, because I can't help it. Like, what is that? Stop. Next, I'm taking my Nicole Guerriero palette. I'm so excited about this. And I'm applying Forever Lit to my inner corner and my brow bone. I also use this as a highlight on my face. If you were wondering, I used Kitty Cat and Forever Lit. And like, this highlight is just beautiful. It's amazing. I'm so glad I got it. And that is pretty much it for this look, you guys. You can go ahead and finish it with a little bit of setting spray and you are done. So thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe and like, and I'll see you next time. Bye.